Okay, well, we're here today to make some May Day baskets and to fill them with flowers and give them out to our friends and family or neighbors. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and just grab a piece of paper, and we have some great options here. So I'm going to start with this one, and I need to trim it down a little bit. So we're going to trim to 3 inches off of 2 sides, so I'm just going to mark 3 inches on from one edge, and then I'm going to trim that one off. I'm going to try to draw a line here so I can trim that 3 inches. I can get my line all the way. And then I'm going to also measure 3 inches away from this end. Do another 3. I will take one of my, I could either cut with a straight scissors or I can cut with a pattern scissors to get a fun little edge. I'm going to go ahead and use a pattern scissors. I'm going to go with the one that's a little bit wavy. And I'm going to cut one edge with the wavy. And on this one, I'm going to try to just overlap my first cut with a couple of the spots on the scissors. And just keep going that way to try to follow that pattern the whole way. Okay, so we've got the pattern on one side. And then if you have problems cutting with these type of scissors, or if you're in a hurry and want a quick, fast cut, you could just trim the side with the straight scissors quick. And then you could also use one of these cutters. This one has little options for different types of cuts. This one's going to be kind of a wavy cut. And so we just have it turned to that. And then I'm going to put my paper in here and slide it through. And this is where if you do 3 inches off of your 12 by 12 paper, it matches up perfectly in this spot here. And then I just take that and slide it. That is much easier than trying to cut it with the scissors, or quicker anyway. So you get a little nice cut there, or again, you have the scissors cut that I made there. So now we have our paper in the size that we want. We're going to go ahead and lay it flat. I like to use this as my top corner. That's going to make the top of the basket, and this is my bottom corner. And I start with the left edge then that has one pattern side and one smooth side, and I just kind of roll it over kind of to start it here, and then I'm going to kind of try to roll it a little bit towards this corner, and then I'm going to pull it, I don't know, kind of just pulling it a little bit towards this, and maybe tightening the end a little bit, and I feel like I'm getting it to a spot. Sometimes I have to start over again. I'm gonna start, I like to kind of actually roll it this way, and then when I get close to where I kind of have it angled here, I feel like it's kind of a nice straight line that I can take my tape, and this is just a glue tape strip, and I can run that along this edge of that paper, and then I could just kind of roll my cone shape into it and then press it along that side, and then we have a cone-shaped basket, just like that. And then next step that I'm going to do is take a paper punch, and I'm going to make holes at the top to make where we can put our ribbon in. So we'll do one at the top here. You can start top or bottom, and I find about 4 punches on this side and then 4 matching punches on the other side is about right. So we have 4 punches there. I guess mine maybe aren't quite exactly right, or even, but that'll work for our ribbon. And then before we go to our ribbon, I'm going to use these little paper puncher or reinforcers. And that'll kind of just surround that hole that I made so that if I pull too hard on the ribbon or anything, it will not rip through the paper. So it's just kind of a little bit of a protector. More. Oh, maybe I did get that one already. I miscounted. I don't need that one. So then we're going to find our ribbon, and I'm going to cut, I found about 2 foot or 24 inches is about right. So I'm just going to use my ruler here and measure out about 24 inches. And that will give us enough to weave through our top of our basket, but also have a little bit for a hanger so we could hang it on the door. And you could start a couple different places. You could either start at the top or at the front here. I found recently that if you started down here and leave about maybe about 6 inches down here, that you can use that to cut or to tie down at the front here and make a little bow at the front of your basket. And then you just kind of weave your ribbon in and out through each and every other punch. Kind of twist and straighten it. We want to have it kind of a nice little border around. We have fed our ribbon through on the top. We have it completed. Now we can tie a little knot or bow down here at the bottom of our. So sometimes I tie a knot. This one I'm going to try to use just a little bow, and then we can have a little bow or a ribbon at the front of our bouquet or basket. So that's kind of what we did there. So we have it all fed through now, and originally I kind of forgot to leave a little loop up here, so I just pulled it back out, and now I have a loop so it can hang over the door, and then we'll tie a little knot or a bow or something down here with what we have left here. So I'm probably going to do just a little knot, and then even if you have a little bit of string, you can leave that string or that ribbon hanging, and it just kind of adds a little effect, or we can trim it off later as well. So again, that should hang over my doorknob. And then the only other thing is maybe making a little note card to go in, which I'm just going to use part of my scrap paper that I cut off of my paper to begin with. And then just write a little note. I'm going to say, may your day be blessed. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue up here and put my note up here. And then I'm going to find some flowers, and I'm going to fill up my little basket with flowers. Arrange those in there. And we have our May Day basket with our flowers. And you can go hang it on a neighbor's door, give it to a friend, and brighten their day.